Oh, yes. Cleaning my glasses because I'm preparing for the show. Gotta see. It's Wednesday, it's the 27th of, what is it, November still? Not for much longer. But yeah, it's a November day. It's kind of chilly outside. Went for a little walk this morning. And with so much to talk about because today, in a little while, we're going to be joined by Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. Oh, yes. Doing that thing that we do. Everything seems to be working here. Hit the go live. That's for the Instagram folks. Hey, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer with the Toronto Police. Well, was with the Toronto Police. Now I'm just in my basement talking to you about stuff and things because I know stuff and things about traffic law, about traffic safety, police stuff, coffee, auctions, technology. So many things. I say auctions because I'm wearing this King of the North shirt. They're not sponsoring, but they did give me this shirt. It's an amazing hoodie. I now have the matching set. I got a hat. I got a shirt. It's nice. I spend a ton of money there because they've got great deals. But now they gave me a shirt and I feel special. And my wife says, you should really wear that shirt today. So that's what I'm doing. My wife made me do it. Thus I'm doing it. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have snow tires on. I say, I keep calling them snow tires. They're not snow tires. They're winter tires. Winter tires are the ones that are good for cold weather and happen to be good for snow and ice and all that jazz. If you've got all seasons, they're really 3 seasons. They're not that hot. You should move into something better. Something that's good for your safety. Yeah, because you have more control. People say that, if you have snow tires, winter tires, that you're going to be overconfident and do dumb things. Well, you can do dumb things with any tires, but the amount of traction, stopping, and turning ability that you'll have will be better with winter tires. Stuff designed for the season. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Hey, Akela Draconis in with a dad joke that I can flag for later. Dad joke for later. Akela's got lots of stuff, lots of dad jokes. He's on point this morning. And a Star Wars dad joke at that. Okay, so apparently, and a quote. And James Bismack says, "Where's the hoodie from? King of the North Auctions." If you check him out, that's where I spend a whole lot of time. In fact, the camera that you're currently watching me on is a Sony ZV-E10 Mark II that I picked up at auction actually last night. I picked it up after the day was done, and now I'm running live. This is the same camera. It's actually the next generation of the camera that I used when I was with the Toronto Police. It's an awesome camera for live streaming. I can actually do 1080p, even though we're only going out at 720 right now. But yeah, it's great. It has autofocus because if you've been watching for the last little while, I've been using the camera that I used to use with the Toronto Police before we bought our own equipment. I brought my own personal equipment in, and that is a Canon full frame SLR, which isn't really made for video. This is specifically designed for video. So I was very happy to find this deal, and it was good. And KC Security Services says, "Good morning, Sean. Good morning to you." And we have Bernhard who says, "King of the North auction site out of Barrie, Ontario." Absolutely. So that's why I've got so much driving experience going to Barrie. It's me going to King of the North on a regular basis. And shout out to the chap that I ran into. Not only do I know the staff there now, but I also ran into someone. I held the door open for them. They said, "Hey, I love your videos." And I keep running into people who watch the show when I go there. So it's awesome. It's like it's a hangout. It's an Ask a Traffic Cop hangout. Okay. What is this? Pravin says, "Too many new officers, I guess that's and too much home invasion happening. What do you think?" Too many new officers? Thank God for new officers. We need people to join this job. Police services across North America, if not the world, are trying to find applicants, people who want to serve their communities, make the world a better place, protect the communities that they love. We need more people to be cops, not less. So if you don't have new officers, who's going to do the work? They ain't nobody if there's no new officers. So that's a thing. In addition, what do I think of the home invasions? I think it's disgusting. I think we need to get tough on crime. We need to put bad guys in jail forever and ever and ever and a day. I don't buy into this go in and do house arrest crap. I think if you commit a crime, a violent crime, you stay in jail. You get old in jail. And when you can't do crime anymore, maybe we let you out. But I'm a toughie on crime. I have no space for oh, you had a gun and you robbed somebody. Well, time served. No, that's not me. Anyway, moving along, we got Casey says new officers needed badly. Absolutely. And we need security officers too. We need people in all areas of law enforcement and those who assist law enforcement to be out there and protect communities and property. And it's a real problem. Let's see here. Kayla says, my calendar is clear for a couple of days, meeting wise. When's a good time for lunch? Well, that's a good question. This week has been, well, actually, the month since I've left the police service have been very, very busy as I launch new things. But we'll talk after. I'll give you a call. Yes, Kayla and I are friends. Let's see here. Hello from Peace River, Alberta. Jake Redcorn. How you doing, Jake? Glad that you're able to stop by and say hello. By the way, at 10, thank you for reminding me. Invite guests. I've got to send a message to the magical folks at the Jerry Agar show because they will be joining me at 10:35 on the show. And if I kept blabbering without saying nothing, I would never send them the link. So, Jake, you saved the day. Thank you, my friend. Here's the link. Magic. Okay, that's done. I didn't even take my phone out of my pocket. Didn't even take my phone out of my pocket. See? Discombobulated. I started playing with the new camera. I'm blaming the new camera, folks. That's the deal. What do I want to do? I want to turn off I'm putting airplane mode. Don't need my transmitting phone close to microphones. That would suck. All right, close this window. Let's see what else is going on here. If you've got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, that's what I'm here for. My name is Sean Shipper. I'm a former police officer. I left the police as a media relations officer. I also was, primarily I was a traffic safety programs guy, creating content online to teach people about what's safe and what's not safe on the road and how to, follow the rules. And yeah, not everybody does. You may have seen a video where someone in York region really didn't follow the rules yesterday. Did you see the video I posted? Because it's a ton of fun. And it's gone with a whole bunch of views. Not as big. I would have loved it to have gone like to the millions, but it's in 35,000 or so on TikTok, over 20,000 on X. People are watching this. I'm really curious what people think should happen to this guy. Now, obviously, in the comments, there's been some dialogue. So if you haven't watched it and you read the comments, you'll see what I say. We can talk about that. In fact, I can probably play that video here. Can I? I think I can. Yeah, I think I will. Let me pull it up for you. In other news, what else? What is the other news? Let's get into another question. I can dialogue while I while I can prep the video. Okay. The Real VR says, good morning. Good morning to you, sir. I haven't seen your most recent videos. The last one I saw, I commented on it was about you, I guess, with a vape of some kind. And it reminded me of the smoke machine that I bought. I bought a handheld smoke machine for photography purposes, for creative stuff. And yeah, I still need to get that out and fog the room, although it's smaller. Brandon says, good morning, Sean, and everyone from coast to coast. From the Coast Guard Station, Miami. 1 second here. Come on. Good morning, Sean, and everyone from Coast Guard Station, Miami. Let's have a safe, fantastic day. I am jealous. Not only are you hanging out with the magical people in the Coast Guard who keep they protect the country and the waters, and they're amazing. I think, obviously, the country being the United States, but shout out to the folks in Miami that are working in the Coast Guard Station. And I got to come visit. I want to come visit. What are you catering? What are you making today? We got to talk. I got to hook up with you on the road. We got to do a video. Okay, and then we've got Ojibwa. Maybe that's it. 4614. Good morning. Where is Vision Zero today? Good question. I have not been monitoring the Vision Zero status. So let's have a look. Ever since I left and retired, I haven't been doing that post in the morning. So I'm less in the know than many of you. Anyone watching who knows where Vision Zero is right now, well, please let me know because I'll share it. Otherwise, I got to go look at it myself. By the way, you can get that by going to Traffic Services on Twitter or on Traffic Services Toronto on Instagram. Okay, I'm putting the video onto my computer so I can share it with everybody. And there we go. We're transferring it. Cool. All right. Checking time. Where are we at? Okay, very good. We're doing okay. At 10:35 is when we'll be hearing from Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. Okay. Pravin says, this is the best time to ask you, what do you think about Trudeau? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're talking about him. No, I got no time for him. Okay, let's see here. Chase, can you have a front window tint brow? Chase, this is Motorcycle Chase, who claims to be the better Chase as opposed to Two Dog Chase, is a longtime listener of the show. Chase, you can have a tinted brow on a vehicle manufactured prior to 2017. As of January 1st, 2017, you cannot have anything on the front windshield and I would say especially at the brow because there's some sensors there that you'd be blocking or interfering with. So that's the thing. Uh, let's see here. Sophia says, wants to know, do you think there should be harsher penalties for those extremely dangerous drivers? Harsher penalties. I do. I do think so. Uh, you know what? What can we do to prevent people? Oh, this is not working. Hang on. I'm logging. Oh, I got to upload a video. Stand by. We're going to try and do this. It's probably not going to work. Downloads. All right. Did we mess it all up? Oh no, you still see me. I'm a little box in the corner. I'm trying to get this to work. I press this. See, doing new things bad. Don't do new things. Stick with stuff that works. Anyway, that video may be loading, and we may be able to use it in a minute. All right. So harsher penalties. Absolutely, we should have harsher penalties. I think that when you use a cell phone when you drive, we should suspend your license, take your car, do the same thing we do for stunt driving. It's as serious. It's related to as many collisions, if not more, than impaired driving now. Impaired by phone. Yeah, we should change the wording. Let's see here. We got David Mailer who says, "Hi, Sean. Love the show, brother." Thanks, David. Appreciate the comment. Hope you're doing well. And Kurt Lowe 94 says, "Sean, are you keeping me? Oh, Kurt, are you keeping me out of the parking lot? Or you are keeping me out of the parking lot? What are you doing now, Kurt? Where are you? What's going on?" And yeah, we won't out Kurt in the parking lot, but you might meet Kurt if you go to Barrie. Okay. Vic joined. We got scrolling down here. Popcorn Man says, "Hey, how are you doing?" "I'm doing well. Thanks very much." The Canadian Show. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. All right, let's go back to. Oh, okay. Paul Noble, who says, "Great show," coming in from X. Thank you, Paul. Much appreciated. What do we got here? We talked about the harsher penalties. Yes, I definitely into the harsher penalties. And KC Security Services just watched the minivan video before coming into the live. So what do you think, KC? Do you think that what charge would you lay if you were a copper? If you haven't looked at the comments. Okay, let me see if that video came in and actually worked. See if I can select it. I can. I'm so glad I caught this on camera. Buddy in the car makes a left turn to go southbound on Bathurst. You hear it as the question. For comfort, so he accelerates so he can get in front of the minivan to change lanes safely. Minivan guy says, "Hell no, this is my lane." See it, I gotta fix it. And he then proceeds to accelerate to prevent the car from changing lanes. What a super dick move. I wasn't impressed. I wonder what your thoughts are. What would you do to this driver if you were a cop on the road? Let me know. You know what? Let me try it differently. So what would you do if you saw that guy? Did you see it? Did it work? I mean, this has been a little bit rocky, but new technology, we just got that to work. It's totally new layout. We got the new version of Restream, which is the system I use for streaming to multi-platforms. We can always talk about that later. Great way to do it. They have a free account. If you're interested in streaming, there's a link to it in the trafficcop.ca list. The very, very bottom, the stuff I use Restream, and I also use something called Ecamm Pro. If you're on a Mac, it's awesome. So links to that there if you wish. What we got here? Kate Tweel says, "Hi, good morning. Are you on YouTube as well?" I am on YouTube as well. If you go to VoiceOver Cop, you can find me on YouTube there, where oddly enough, it looks exactly like it does on TikTok. Real VR hasn't seen the video yet. Kayla confirms that the new video camera does have a nice image. I appreciate it. And autofocus, which is most important. Now, when I show something on online, I can now, hold it up and it focuses, where I couldn't do that with the manual focus of the SLR. I mean, SLR has autofocus when you depress the button, but it doesn't have always on autofocus. So there you go. If you're new to the channel, you don't know who I am. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I used to work as a traffic guy, so I know traffic stuff and things, and I like to share that with people. So I am still doing this, even though I've retired from policing. I am now talking to you from my basement, helping you with answering questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. So if you got questions, please ask them. Oreo says, good morning. And Popcorn Man says, pull him over and give him a big fine and take his driver's license. Well, oddly enough, and we'll talk about this with Jerry Agar when he tunes in, but it is an offense that would take his license. Yeah, temporarily. We'll talk more about that at 10:35, I imagine. What is this? Blam Blam. Blam Blam says, Sean, you have to interact with the 11 people watching you to build a better live stream, bud. So I've got 28 people watching across VoiceOver Cop on X and YouTube right now. I have 127. Actually, I don't know how many people are watching on TikTok in particular. My live streams have, when it was Toronto Police, used to have up to 40,000 people in the lives. Algorithms shift and whatnot, and regular scheduling does help. This one was promoted this morning, but not on TikTok. So if it's a low count, I'm okay with it. Yeah. So how many people do we have live? I'm really curious now. 16 people. It is really low on TikTok right now. So please, if you're watching on TikTok, please share and like the screen. You know, a couple of thousand taps on the sending hearts would actually help. But I am interacting with you, Blam Blam. Thanks for coming up. KC Security says, I'm quite familiar with it. Yeah. I'm not stressed out about having huge viewership. You know why? It's not about having big numbers. It's not about going viral. It's about helping one person. So if you have questions, I'm here for you, not for everybody who's not here. I'm here for the people who show up. And it's hard to schedule around someone who doesn't regularly schedule. So the big question is, should I come out here every day at 9, every day at 10, every day at 4 in the afternoon? Like, what's the best time? I put it out on a video on TikTok asking that very question and got various responses. And many people said, 6 to 7 p.m., I think was an average. I got to do the stats and figure it out. Brandon is making burgers, sausages, and chicken wings, which is always good. And another kitchen blog joined and said, love your work, Sean. Thank you very much. They want to know if a racing stripe is enough. Oh, is a racing stripe enough to change the car to validate changing the appearance with insurance? I would say no. I would say you need to be two-tone, 50%. Could you qualify it? Would it be wrong to say that you're a two-tone vehicle? Yeah, unless it's a significant change to about 50%, I don't think it qualifies. If you had the top half one color, the bottom half another color, I would say it is two-tone. But a stripe doesn't cut it, in my opinion. Best thing to do, though, is talk to the Ministry of Transportation, because they're the holders of the button to change that. And yeah, they can tell you what they think. They may disagree with me. Who knows? It's happened before. We have here Manraj Verk says, I think Officer Randall Arsenault is a good candidate for social media person for TPS. Love his content along with yours. Thank you for his service. So Manraj, he and I both left the police service. Neither of us are police officers anymore. We both have content. His is great too. And I appreciate your support, but neither one of us can go into that role because we no longer work for them. But who knows? Who knows? We could always go back. Okay. Real VR wants to know about allowing militias to protect communities and assist police officers. I don't know. That sounds like a dangerous and slippery slope. So I'll steer clear of that one. Carl Freeman says, good morning, Sean. Good morning, Carl. Motorcycle Chase wants to know phone and texting, but you have, what is this? Phone and texting, but have you seen the new vehicles with the tablet as screens? It's distracting. It is distracting, and you could be eligible for a charge of careless driving if you're using the big screen and it's negatively impacting your ability to drive the vehicle. However, it doesn't qualify for distracted driving, which is very specifically holding a handheld communication device, using a handheld communication device, which includes holding it, and using a handheld entertainment device, or a screen visible to driver that does not include the one mounted inside your car that shows your air conditioning and radio. Those things just replace the tactile switches and buttons and display screens of yesteryear with high-tech ones. They're bright. They can be distracting. You have to be a grown-up and not use them. But I appreciate what you're saying. Yeah, and that's that. Paul Noble says careless driving in relation to the folks, the chap who accelerated to prevent someone from changing lanes. I say it in that way because it's very specifically what they did, and that is actually what is one of the many triggers for stunt driving. So the driver of the white vehicle the minivan would be eligible for a stunt driving charge. They would be eligible for a suspension of their driver's license roadside, as well as what do you call it? In the impoundment of their vehicle. That vehicle should go into the clink because it doesn't deserve to be on the road with that driver, and it doesn't matter who owns it. And then they'd be eligible for the $2,000 to $10,000 fine, the 1 to 3 year driving prohibition on conviction, and up to 6 months in jail. It is 6 months in jail, right? I'm not conflating things. Okay. We got here. Barath says, "Hi, Sean. Why aren't theft from vehicles under 5,000? Sorry, why aren't theft from vehicles under $5,000 are ignored?" You've asked it in a way that doesn't make sense to me. But are you suggesting that thefts from vehicles, like theft under from a vehicle, is ignored? No one takes your report, or are you unhappy that people don't go and start door to door looking for your stuff? The problem is police resources and police protocols don't allow for people to canvass entire neighborhoods looking for your Walkman. If you know what a Walkman is, nobody knows what a Walkman is anymore. The Northern Cop, good morning. We take a report. Your insurance covers the losses, and it sucks. What we really need to do is get people to park in areas that are well lit and not leave any valuables in their vehicles. And it's sad that we have to do this, but that's where we are in society, where we have to cater to the bad folk. We have to make ourselves look less attractive to the folks who want to steal our stuff. 24 minutes after the hour, I should probably remind people who I am and what we're doing today, because that's important. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer, and I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And today I'm joining Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010 at 10:35 to talk to his radio audience for about 10 minutes. And after that, we'll come back and talk to you guys, because what we're here to do is answer your traffic and police questions. So we will do that. All right. Toronto Road Camp says, "Hey, Sean." And Carl Freeman says, "Usually careless driving would be the charge." It was just so aggressive. It's actually written in. I should pull it up. It's written into the act, or into the careless driving law, to specifically state that when you prevent someone from passing or changing lanes, that's a thing. That is where you can get into big doo doo. But careless, it could even be considered criminal dangerous driving, because they were it wasn't they were just not paying attention. They hammered the gas and tried to race the guy to prevent him from changing lanes. Yeah, he was a super dick. Let's see here. Akela's answer includes proton torpedoes for that one. The Real VR wants to know if this is better than Streamlabs. So we're talking about Restream and Ecamm Pro. So Ecamm Pro is more like the Stream. Well, it's hard. They work together. I use them in conjunction with one another. Ecamm Pro is Mac only, but it's incredibly powerful. Streamlabs is sort of like what's it called? The Open Broadcast OBS, but really polished. So both of them are good. I think this is better. You can run it entirely off of the online solution, the online studio. You can hold up to 10 guests. It simplifies everything. So I think it's better than Streamlabs, but you can use it even with Streamlabs, which is kind of funny, just like Ecamm Pro. Let's see here. Manraj says the video in minivan deserves stunt driving and impacting flow of traffic, careless driving, speeding, tint thicker, and plenty of other charges. I appreciate that you agree. That's good. Let's see here. We got the best part of retired, Sean, is you don't have to watch what you say as much. I still try and stay legit, but yeah, I don't worry about getting in trouble if I slip up and call someone a super dick. Okay. SLR should have continuous autofocus. You might have to turn it on, but Sony, if you're Sony, I think would have it, but my SLR is 12 years old, so it doesn't have it. Victoria, is it legal to wrap my car in Christmas wrapping paper? I really want to do it for the holiday. Christmas wrapping paper might not be the right way to go, just because it could very easily become torn just from wind, and then it could fly up and cover your windows and be really a hazard. Would it be illegal? No, it wouldn't be illegal unless it was in a situation where it was interfering with your ability to safely operate the vehicle. That said, if you're really invested in it, I would talk to a local wrap shop that could actually print a Christmas wrapping paper pattern onto vinyl, which could be securely adhered to your vehicle and a much better, or even magnetic signs, but not just paper. Paper just, unless you got some way of really ensuring it won't go anywhere, like plastic wrapping it after you paper wrap it, because I don't think that would be safe. So you could run into problems, but I do appreciate the Christmas cheer, the Christmas spirit. Uh, and the real VR doubles down with just don't wrap the lights or windows or plate areas. Yeah, also good advice. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Um, Alex says, "Thank you for sharing your experience and knowledge. I'm so happy to be able to do it, to have that opportunity. So thank you for the thank you. I appreciate it." Uh, Enjoying retirement. It's really just retirement from policing. I'm very active and working hard into the next phase of my life. I retired early. I'm not getting anything. I don't collect a pension. I've deferred everything until much later in life. It's just a thing. I could have worked for another 8 to 10 years, but my family situation is such that I needed to be more flexible and at home a lot more. Let's see here. NES says, turned 78. When do I have to go for the old man road test? Oh, dang. I don't remember. I remember that my grandfather had to do it in his 80s, I think. Let's have a look. Let's see here. I have to look it up myself. At 80 and older, you must take a knowledge test every year, and they can also do a driving test at a certain point, but 80. So you still got some time, my friend. A couple years. You're okay. And actually, before I even had a chance, I should have just read the next line. MES got a response from Casey Security Services, said beginning after 80 years old. Thank you so much. Car drivers should know how to drive around big rigs. Absolutely, they should. And sadly, they really tend not to, right? So how does one get good information about this? I would go to TIRF, TIRF.ca. There's an info page there. You can email it to all of your closest friends. I'm actually going to have to add that to trafficcop.ca. I don't think I have the sheet directly linked, although I'm sure I have links to TIRF. TIRF is the Traffic Injury Research Foundation. I work with them a lot. They are amazing people. They put out great information. And one of them is the fact that they work with the Private Trucking Alliance. I'm totally destroying that acronym or name, but they're really big on education about how to get around big trucks, because people don't realize how much they need to see, how much space they need in order to see. Okay. Oh, okay. Thomas says, "Hey, Sean," and then Northern Bear 67 says, my wife's here. Please tell her to remove her plate cover because I'm right and she's wrong." He's right. You're wrong. Yeah, the deal is that you can't have any kind of plate cover, plate frame, tinted or clear, doesn't matter. Anything that obstructs or obscures the license plate in any way, shape, or form is not legal. Now, people say clear plate cover. You can't tell me that like what's not obstructing the plate. I can still see it. Okay, can you guarantee that there's no glare, no reflection that would prevent police or technology from reading your plate? Does it get dirty? Does it get fogged? Anything that would prevent it. So the truth is you can't have anything. Now, do police run after everyone who has a clear cover? No. But could you be eligible? Yes. Just not a good idea. Okay. Manaraj wasn't aware that both myself and Officer Arsenault had retired. He inspired me to join the police force, but I'm not sure I would do that in Canada or States. One thing that would possibly change whether you do it in the States is you have to be a citizen in the United States. In Canada, you can be a permanent resident to be a police officer as well. You don't have to be a citizen. All right, let's scroll down. The real VR solution to car theft is I drive cheap cars and have zero items except for a few old pennies in the cup holders. Well, I can tell you that I was told many, many times not to have any change in your vehicle, especially in certain neighborhoods in downtown Toronto. That would be enough to have somebody break the window to steal the change. Wild, right? Would never have thought. Oh, Cobit dot. Did I say that right? Traffic cop didn't visit me in the hospital, but rather handed me the collision report to my tow truck. That happens at times. If you're not being charged and there's no statement required, then there's no reason to bother you in the hospital. And giving the tow truck driver the copy of the information sheet, not the report. It's a driver's information sheet. It just says who you are, who the other driver was, if there was one, and a report number that you can later then pay for a report when you order it, because you don't get the report just because you were in a collision. You actually have to order it from the records department. Oh, and we got, where did they go? Where did they arrive? Let's see. guests. I heard them pop in, but I don't see them. Stand by. Maybe they popped out. Maybe they're going to pop back in again. I don't think it worked. Let's see. Let us take a pause from the show for a moment to make sure we're connecting. Heard you, but you're not there. All right. We will give that a shot again in a second. Love the technology. All right. Yeah, this supports up to 10 guests. I'm actually tempted to try and log in myself to make sure that we're working okay. Stand by. Just be a second. There we go. NewsTalk 1010. Hello, NewsTalk 1010. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for jumping in. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, got you loud and clear, and you'll be up in about 15 seconds here.
15 seconds. We can handle that. Thank you. Okay. As you heard it, we are going to be on with Jerry Agar from NewsTalk 1010 in about 15 seconds. We're going to talk about some traffic stuff and things with his radio audience. And that after that 10 minutes is done, we're going to jump back in and talk to y'all until 11 o'clock. So hang out, throw questions into the chat, and we will be with you in a moment. Not ignoring you. I'm kind of ignoring you. In the meantime, 15 seconds.
You're listening to Jerry Agar.
Thanks for being along. And Sean Shapiro, the TikTok former traffic cop, joins me now. Sean Shapiro, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good to have you. You continue on Twitter and some other platforms, and we'll talk about that in a bit, even though you've retired and you're doing other things. We just always want to make sure that we point out that you're not actually employed by the police anymore.
Absolutely.
All right. That doesn't mean you forgot
lots
everything.
of stuff going on. No,
Yeah.
It's funny how the brain retains information.
Yes. Was it legal for you to take that information with you when you left?
I tried to give it back. I really did, but it stuck.
All right. If you got a traffic-related question, Sean Shapiro would like to talk to you. We've got two things to start with, though, here. I'll give you the numbers ahead of time here. 416-872-1010, 416-872-1010, and toll-free, 877-518-5151. So you put out some dash cam video that was interesting. Describe for everybody what you saw take place.
I first of all, I think everyone should have a dash cam. I wouldn't drive without one. And what I saw was traveling southbound on Bathurst, close to Weldrick. A vehicle was making a left turn to go southbound, and they ended up being in the center lane, meant for turning off of Bathurst. Well, they were in front of a car, and they were pacing to make a lane change, and the minivan decides to accelerate to prevent this car from getting into the lane. Not just accelerate or give a toot of the horn. Like they hammered down. So everyone is now accelerating, going really, really quickly. And at one point, the car tries to change lanes to get into lane one, which is the standard, I guess, the passing lane for everyone who's trying to understand what I'm saying. And the other guy drives halfway into lane two to pass, and it narrowly avoids collision. It was insanity. Fortunately, it was covered on my camera. I downloaded it and I shared with everybody. And what people don't understand is it's more than just not being courteous. Actively trying to prevent someone from passing or changing lanes is stunt driving. That minivan would be eligible for a charge of stunt driving. They could have their car impounded, their license suspended, and a whole slew of other things that come afterwards in court.
Probably all of us have experienced that at some point where you want to change lanes and somebody speeds up so that you can't. However, the other guy didn't try. He unsafely tried to get into the lane.
Well, he tried, and I think he made a reasonable attempt.
Well,
they're definitely both in. They're both in the wrong, but one of them has gone beyond a simple boo-boo, and the minivan driver has gone into the realm of stunt driving, taking it way over. All he had to do was lay off the gas, let the guy get in. He was going to do it safely, even though it wasn't perfect. And a lot of what we do on the road isn't perfect. People have been getting through their entire driving careers making minor mistakes every day. I try and educate people around them, but it's one thing to make a little mistake. It's entirely another thing to have an intention to be a dick on the road. My apologies. And do what this driver did and put lives at risk way more than the oopsie-doo of the wrong choice of turns.
All right. Now, Jeff in Etobicoke called the morning show, and then he referenced you. Okay. And so let's listen to Jeff and then get your response.
Your traffic cop, Sean Shapiro, who 3 years ago, that if a device can go 27 kilometers an hour or more, it's required by Ontario law to have insurance. Because what if you hit somebody, the thing might weigh 80, 100 pounds, and you're traveling at that speed, and you hit somebody or you hit something? How many people know that they're supposed to have insurance or do have insurance?
Well, I'm flattered that he referenced me. He didn't reference me correctly. The 27 kilometers an hour, I've never said, because if it's an e-bike, it is a 32 kilometer an hour maximum, and it's the maximum that the device can be capable of going on a flat surface under power. It's also a 500 watt motor is the maximum, 120 kilos a device. And at that point, it's no longer qualified as an e-bike under Ontario law, and it is a motorcycle, which would require license ownership, safety, and so on. The truth is you can't buy insurance. You can't license them for the road without a VIN being issued and a whole bunch of safety authorizations. So that would just become an illegal motorcycle for off-road use only. Now, if we're talking about an electric kick scooter, that's a different device altogether. E-kick scooters cannot be capable of going over 24 kilometers an hour. I can tell you they sell them at Costco that go 30 kilometers an hour. So there's an issue right there. They're also only permitted in jurisdictions that have opted in. City of Toronto hasn't, so they can't be anywhere in the City of Toronto. You can get a $110 ticket for operating one there. Even though people do it every single day, it's not legal. Good luck getting insurance if you get in a collision, get paid while driving a vehicle that's not even allowed on the road.
All right. Here is John. What's your question for Sean Shapiro?
Sean, you and I spoke about this a while back, and it's the old 404 scam where people are coming 100 kilometers an hour down the 404 only to be interrupted by some lunatic who's come to a complete stop trying to merge in past the lineup, trying to get into the 401. I mean, to me, that is absolutely ridiculous and reckless. It's holding up traffic. People are having to jam their brakes on, almost rear-ending people. What was ever done about that? Is there any initiatives that were ever started when you were on the job there? And
well, that's specifically the OPP area being the 404 to the 401 and DVP interchange, where the biggest backlog is. It also is really bad where you go from the 401 to the 400 north. And what happens is you end up in this 2 kilometer long line. And if you're not prepared, you don't know where to get in. And then nobody wants to go to the next exit and double back and add 5 minutes to their drive. So they do really dangerous things like coming to a complete stop on the highway because they want to go that way. It's a problem. It could be a situation where police get involved, but it doesn't look like that's ever happened. At least I've never seen it or heard about it. I'd lose my mind other than having regular patrols there with the lights on, moving people forward and forcing them to move their vehicles again. I don't know what else you can do because
But Sean, can it be stunt driving? Can it be some sort of? I mean, it can't be legal to just stop on a ramp.
Well, what they're doing is they're stopping before the fork in the road because they're trying to signal in, waiting for someone. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do to be proactive and let it work where we let people in, but that's not it. You should not be making that. It's a reckless move. Is it careless? I think careless could possibly fit if it's done in motion. If you're coming to a stop, though, interfere with traffic. There's a bunch of things that could come, but they'd be nonstop writing tickets. It would be in all things. I think they should build a barricade.
All right.
I agree.
Yeah, thanks, John. I appreciate your call. There are some places where they have traffic lights for people entering. So you come to the ramp and then you've got to wait for a green and then you go. And then that seems to manage the flow better.
That's for the flow onto the traffic. What he's talking about is the flow off of it. So people who are trying to get onto the 401 from the 404 southbound, and you've got this just absolute gridlock traffic getting into the ramp. And the people who would be otherwise going straight to go to the DVP are now all trying to jump in late to the party and jump onto the ramp to get off to the 401. So it's the opposite. And I don't know if lights would work because people just ignore all the laws lately.
Here's Kelly. Go ahead.
Hi. So my daughter got a ticket yesterday because she was turning left behind a bus. And when the bus turned and she was in the intersection, she got stopped because it was a bus turn only lane. So she wants to know if she has any recourse because she couldn't see any signs because the bus was in front of her, and if there are any demerits for that.
So the issue is what was the actual charge that was laid? Disobey sign?
Yes.
So if she didn't see the sign, but she drove there anyway, not being able to see it because the bus was there is certainly a route you could try. I don't know if you'll get actually be able to defend it. It's reasonable. You couldn't see it if you're unfamiliar with the area. But generally speaking, those signs are placed far enough back that you should have been able to know in advance.
Okay. And are there any demerits for that?
For disobey sign, I believe it's 2 points.
There are they?
Okay, Kelly. Thanks very much. Here is Daniel from Toronto.
Hi, how are you this morning?
Good. Go ahead.
So listening to your conversation about your dash cam video left me a little bit confused about when I can actually call 911 when I notice what I think is reckless driving. So, for example, just yesterday I was driving south on Bathurst in the Lawrence of Bathurst area, and there was either a lady or a male in a small white Lexus weaving in and out of traffic and trying to get ahead of people. I'm sure I don't have to describe the whole scenario to you. And I was really I get really upset by watching this because I think they're just putting lives in danger.
Okay, we're going to run out of time here. I know what your question is.
So the question is that a justification to call 911? If you believe that people's lives are being put into at risk in that moment, that's absolutely a call. A description of the plate, a description of the vehicle, any information about the driver. If you have video, it's great. You can either do an online complaint just to say, hey, I saw this car doing dumb stuff, or if you're concerned that they're going to continue doing that, then police should absolutely be notified at that point, and then you may have to testify. But it's a good thing to call if it's just that they're upsetting you because that's not the right way to behave, but no one's really at risk in that moment, in your opinion, then that wouldn't be a call for 911.
All right, Daniel, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Sean, where do people find you now?
You can go to trafficcop.ca. It'll link to all of my social media, but you can get me on all the major platforms, including TikTok, X, YouTube, you name it.
Trafficcop.ca.
That's me.
Sean Shapiro, thanks a lot. This is
always a pleasure. Take care.
Yep. This is the iHeartRadio Talk Network.
Okay. That was Jerry Agar on NewsTalk 1010. It's the Jerry Agar Show. Always fun to meet up with Jerry and chat for a bit. All right, let's see if I got this right. Oh, I'm on the wrong app. That's what I was trying to do. Okay, now I get to do something, which is, how much time do we have left? We have 15 minutes. Do I give you 30? We'll keep going. We'll see, because now there's a backlog. So we'll do 30 minutes. It's on the clock. Once the timer runs out, we are out of here. But I love that. See, this timer is something that's built into Ecamm Pro. I can do things, and I can't do that on Restream. Yeah. I like features like that. I like being able to do all this cool green screen stuff. Oh, speaking of which, I had adjusted things. Now this is me just being finicky about my screen. Stand by. I just want to fix it because I can. Okay. There we go. Cool. What do we have here? What did you think of those callers? What did you think of some of the topics we were discussing with Jerry? I'm always interested to know while you're stuck watching somebody else's questions. All right. We talked about this. We talked about that. Just trying to catch up. Okay, I saw that. Okay. Real VR is going to check him out. You have Mac and PC. Very cool. Chase, I put it up on screen, but hey, Chase, this is Two Dogs Chase, not to be confused by Motorcycle Chase. Dan Vanberg wanted to know, and I flagged this earlier. Morning, Sean. Legal versus illegal to check a smartwatch while driving. Okay. Apple Watch, if I look at it to tell the time, totally legitimate. If I'm scrolling through it and interacting with the device to go into anything other than the time, now you're looking at a handheld communication device. And I argued this. I did not agree that a wrist-worn device would be a handheld communication device because you're not holding it in your hand, but it is taking your hands. You are distracted. It does qualify. Mine has a cellular transceiver. Even if it doesn't have the cell phone feature, it has the ability to send messages through your phone. It absolutely qualifies. There's case law supporting people getting convicted for using them. So the answer is it's illegal, and for good reason. You should not be focused on anything other than driving when you're behind the wheel. And I would say that it's even worse than cell phone, because a cell phone you might be able to articulate with one hand. You are absolutely two-handed, two hands being occupied while you're driving. I guess you could try and argue you could have one hand on the wheel while doing it. It's such a bad idea. Don't do that. What do we got here? car driver. We talked about that. So I see Classic Cars, as said a couple of times, talking about that business about big rigs. Please only ask questions once because it tends to muddy up the chat. Then I have to say, oh, we've responded. Oh, we responded. All right. If you're just watching and you just tuned in for the first time, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former officer, a former police officer, and now I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff all the time. If you've never seen my content, you should follow the channel because I'm putting lots of stuff on, lots of new stuff, lots of fun stuff I think you'll enjoy. If you're watching on TikTok, please follow, subscribe, hit the screen, send some likes this way. It helps the channel, helps people find out about it. And I'd also love to know, if you throw a comment in, what time would be the best time for you when we go live? When should I go live? When would be most convenient for you? That's what I want to know. Let's see here. I wish I understood which one it was. Sean just won the internet for that reply. Which reply? Because now I want to clip that and make sure I make a short form video on it. Okay. What is this? Louise Roman says, thank you. Or hey, Sean, you missed me. I missed you? Where did I miss you? There's your question behind. Hang on a second. Ask it again. I can't search through that giant list of questions. Okay. So the question that was posed was, could I tell the Northern Bear 67's wife to take off the plate covers? She is pouting and he is happy, and the covers are coming off. Thanks for the reminder, Casey. Even though I just saw it now, Akela was excited about the Jerry being on the show. Mimi says, hi, Sean. Is it Mimi or Mimi? I don't know. Let's go. Few states do hire green card holders and they give citizenship, but they have retirement that if a person leaves in the first 5 years, they can revoke the citizenship. Really? What states are those? I know that what is it called? State troopers in, where is it? Way north. Why is my brain not functioning? There are some places that there's one in particular. High mortality rates are places where they can't find people, or they need hunting and trapping and snowshoe wearing. They tend to take Canadians. Woodell Engineering wants to know, what dash cam do you have? Pros and cons. So I have a U1000 from Thinkware. I think it's awesome. I'm a little ticked off at them that I bought a $500 dash cam and it broke 13 months after I bought it. I bought another one because I like it enough to buy twice. I did get the second one at auction, oddly enough, from this place. And I just pulled the broken one off and put the new one on. I don't know why it broke. I don't know if I can fix it or not. I'd happily have two of them because they're awesome, but expensive. I would have loved to have gone to their new version, which is a $600 or $700 version. I just can't justify that. So it was sort of like it was meant to be when I found it on King of the North auction, and I bought it. But that it's 4K front camera, 2K rear camera, parking mode, like it does everything. You can even buy radar. The new one has radar built in. This one's an optional radar. Anyway, hope that helps. If you want more information, let me know. One of the reasons to do policing in the States is they have strong, strict court systems, and criminals do not get bail in 15 minutes just because it was the first time stealing the car. They do a lot of things right, a lot of things that are concerned. Like there's good in both sides. I don't know if I'm 100% down with lock everyone up and throw away the key. For violent crime, yes. For hurting people, yes. A kid steals a chocolate bar, he might actually do hard time in the States. Maybe not. It certainly doesn't happen here. So maybe there's room for certain areas to have reform and other areas to throw away the key. Either way, it's interesting. Okay. Got it. That was the response for apparently I won the internet for that. Okay. Ethan, who says, hey, Sean Shapiro, is excessive lane changing illegal if not speeding? So there's nothing wrong with having safe lane changes that are all made while signaling and being safe. You can change lanes all the time. I mean, you might get pulled over for an investigation to find out if you're impaired or not if you just keep changing lanes for no other reason, but it's not illegal on itself. If you're changing lanes, weaving through traffic and trying to get through, now you're getting into the realm of stunt driving, of aggressive, dangerous maneuvers. Speed will probably be a factor. But just changing lanes, no, I don't think there's anything that you could be faulted for. Okay. Oh, KC says, maybe you can replay your morning stream at 9 or 10 p.m. for us night shifters. Yeah, I could do that. In fact, Restream has the ability, if you've got the pro plan, to just hit a button when you're done and it'll schedule and come up again. So maybe we'll try that tonight. I'll try that tonight. I appreciate your I appreciate your suggestion, and I will do that today. 9 o'clock. We'll do it for 9 o'clock p.m. I wonder if I can label it as a replay though. Okay, we'll find out tonight. LJ says during the day is best. Just post on Mondays when you'll be on that week so we can be sure to watch. I never know. I will know because things are going to be solidifying into a permanent schedule. That's the plan anyway. So cool. I will try and do at least 24 hours notice to change, or is it 24 hours notice to promote? I don't know. We'll figure it out. I appreciate the input. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. Really? So apparently, since 2022, Illinois, California, Colorado, and Washington, D.C. have passed laws allowing LPRs and some other legal immigrants to become police officers. That is fascinating. I was not aware of that. It was somewhere else I was thinking of that still is not clicking in as to where it is. Anyway, Akela's making breakfast. Ethan says thanks. Okay, Mimi says, Hub got a red light ticket for failing to stop on a red light, but is turning right without any car. Oh, Hub, got it. If you're making a right turn on a red and you don't come to a complete stop, you run the light. That's called running the light. That's failing to stop for a red light. You have to come to a complete stop, and then, whether there's people or no people, you must come to a complete stop, and only then can you continue to make a right if it's safe to do so. So if your hubby got a red light ticket for failing to stop on the red light during a turn, illegal. I'm shocked more people wonder about this, but it's a major problem. I watch people do it all the time. It drives me bananas. Is that counted for demerit points too? No. If it was a red light camera ticket, there's no demerit points on automated enforcement. Doesn't matter if it's speeding or red light or even school bus. I don't think the new school bus laws for automated enforcement, I don't believe, carry points, but they do impact your ability to renew your license if you don't, or your license plates if you don't pay the fines. So where the automatic renewal is currently in place, if you have unpaid tickets against your car, you will not get the automatic renewal. Dune 11 says, G'day. G'day to you too. Apparently the location of that turn was at Highway 7 in Jane. I can't visualize that intersection, but apparently you should not make right turns without stopping there because the camera goes clickety-click. Mimi says, you're awesome, Sean. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for the thank you. I try. Awesome isn't always achieved, but I certainly aim for it every day. Let's see here. We got awesome. I remember you trying the replay feature on the Toronto Police account before, and I liked it. Oh, very cool. I can also have it loop like multiple times. Yeah, I was messing around with a whole bunch of things. Menraj says, Louisiana and Maine even allow anyone with a work permit to become a police officer. Get out. Fantastic. A friend of mine is actually a reserve in Louisiana. Actually, I have a couple of friends who are reserve officers in Louisiana. Very cool. I would love to do that. If I could assist a police service in the States and pick a second home and be able to contribute to that community, it would be awesome. All right, let's see what we got here. Another kitchen blog says, are parking lots a no-fault zone, as in all parties equally responsible for coming and going safely? I've heard it's harder to define the right from wrong in those insurance situations. The no-fault thing is a confusion. And generally speaking, parking lots are 50-50. And so rarely do you actually have evidence to the contrary. Like if you have dash camera or parking camera or security cameras that clearly identify someone for doing something reckless, I don't understand how anyone could make it dual or no fault. See, here, really what no fault means when you talk about no fault in insurance is that my insurance company pays me, your insurance company pays you, and they do something in the background where they argue about who's actually more responsible, and then they demand payment from the other one. So that's the back end. If I'm an investigator investigating a collision, I'm still going to determine who caused the collision. It's not going to say, whatever, it's a parking lot, 50-50. Like, I'm going to write a report and saying driver A did dumb stuff to driver B, who now has to get their car painted because driver A has no business driving a car. The only difference is there's no license required on private property as it stands. But I hear that the provincial government wants to make all private property highway. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see how that works. I'm regurgitating somebody else's comments. I don't know that that's actually happening, but apparently that's in the talks. Let's see what's here. Ethan wants to know if winter tires are a legal requirement, not in the province of Ontario. They are required by law in the province of Quebec. So you need one that has a what's it called? The Snowflake Mountain logo. And if you have that, then you're good to go. But a proper winter tire is best, even though the all-weather tire might meet the legal requirement. So all weather has elements of winter tire in it, whereas all season is 3 seasons, not including winter. It's not good enough. And KC Security Services adds to that, saying that studded tires are only permitted in certain regions. So if you live in Northern Ontario, if you're registered to Northern Ontario, then studded tires would be, but he wasn't even going into studded. Studded is where you actually have spikes that go into the ground and they damage the road. So if you have a student, if you have a studded tire and you're in Northern Ontario, you can drive into Southern Ontario temporarily, but you can't reside here with those tires. I had a list here once upon a time. I don't have that list here at the moment. Cool. What do you got, Scott? We got looking for any new questions. If you're watching for the first time and you don't already follow me, my name is Sean Shapiro. I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff on a regular basis, and I'm here to help. If you've got questions, I've got answers. Feel free to chime in and let me know what you want to talk about. We've got here, let's see here. QY says, how are you doing today? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well too. It's been a busy morning. Lots of stuff going on here. And I've been responding to tons and tons of comments over the last few videos I put up. Some that are controversial, some that are just traffic controversial, because the one in question, and I can play it for you again here. Let's do this. I'm so glad I caught this on camera. Buddy in the car makes a left turn to go southbound on Bathurst. He's a little too close for comfort, so he accelerates so he can get in front of the minivan to change lanes safely. Minivan guy says, hell no, this is my lane. And he then proceeds to accelerate to prevent the car from changing lanes. What a super dick move. I wasn't impressed. I wonder what your thoughts are. What would you do to this driver if you were a cop on the road? Let me know. Yeah, so not impressive driving. Let's see here. We got, yes, KC Security. The milkshake one did get a lot of interesting comments. There's no question of that. Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate the comment. It is funny how people are so emotionally tied to different stuff, and very often sharing content that makes people ask questions or throw out their comments. Oh, they're pretty good. All right. We have comments from my father. He's texting me. Oh, he's saying good morning. All right. Turf is saying things. Okay, Christine commented things. Oh, good. We got lots of good stuff. Mimi has a question. Lots of that. Mimi's not pleased with that driver either. If you are reposition, get comfortable. If you've got questions, even bicycle questions, happy to chat with you about them. If you want to talk about what should we talk about? Now that we've got a thing where I've actually caught up to the questions. It's pretty wild. I should talk about other things. In that we're working on a show concept right now, which will have some professional drivers driving around into different areas, recording drivers in the wild and commenting on it. So what do you think about a show where we simply show you real drivers doing really bad stuff? And usually you see it when there's a collision. People will share it, something wild, but there's a lot happening that's a little lower on the bar, but equally horrible. Like, how many people on our phones that are driving on their cell phones do you think we could find in one day? I wonder. I'd love to share that. What do you think of that? Do you think that would be a good show? Watching people not being stopped and charged, just being caught and maybe shamed. Not sure on the shame part yet. I like it. So Barb loves it. Ethan would watch that. We got the Real VR says it's awesome. Toronto Road Cams says interesting. In fact, Toronto Road Cams could probably create half the content, from his big rig. Then he says interesting. Oh, Casey would sponsor that. There's lots of good stuff that we'd love to be able to share with you. I think there's a lot of stuff that's not only entertaining but educational. And one of the things we're working on is something called the Canadian Organization for Better Traffic Safety and Education. And the goal is to create amazing content that police and communities can share with their people, with the community at large, to help them be safer. I'm not talking about me talking about things per se, but content that's educational that can be shared by everyone, everywhere, and help be the roads be safe for everybody. Yeah. So lots of things that we're working on. Very excited to be able to bring that to you in the new year. And if you want to sponsor that, Casey, you should definitely reach out to me. Let's see here. And then he says, we will love that because we love watching body cam. Body camera is very addictive content, isn't it? Yeah, that's great content. But the problem is in Canada, the laws are a little different, and police agencies are really reluctant to share that content because it creates issues for, in law. When it comes to, content of just drivers driving, that's not police content. It's people acting silly in public. Okay. Let's see here. Bernhard says, I've seen something similar with cops ticketing that out of unmarked minivans. Oh yeah. Enforcement stuff is great, but you can't share to the same level. But yes, it is great. There's just not enough cops to be able to catch everything. So I'd love to be able to help. Akela says, I'm in Brampton. Maybe I could contribute. Yeah, maybe. We'll talk. Ethan says, is tailgating illegal? Follow too close is the charge under the Highway Traffic Act. Not legal, not safe, not a good idea. That's where collisions would cause caused by people going too fast, following too close, not having a reaction time. Casey, look forward to talking to you. And Raj says, France even allow visitors to really? France says so will allow visitors to join the French Foreign Legion Army unit, and after some time they do naturalize person. I don't think you mean neutralize. Neutralize sounds a little more final, but yeah, it's that's interesting. In the United States, like they gave citizenships when people served in the military. Yeah, interesting. Like the guy who started driving into the park. I don't think I saw this video. Where's this video? I need to see the video. Oh, what a great idea, Barb. I think people should have random surprise drive tests done. Yeah, that would be interesting. If it was just it's like jury duty. You get a letter. You're coming down to test out your skills on our nice little track over here. I think that would go over like a lead balloon. But I mean, people would be miserable. The stress of maybe being tested tomorrow. Is tomorrow your day? It should be. I certainly think that any infraction would be a good reason, a trigger to put you on the list for testing, because there's so many people who should not be behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. We know rules, just don't do them when cops are near. We know rules, just don't do them when cops are. Well, when aren't near. Thank you for. I was like, aren't near. That doesn't make sense. That is a big problem. We talk about speed traps and tickets and enforcement. People act properly when they're being watched. And what is it when the cat's gone? What is it? Come on, what is that saying? It's when the cat's away, the mouse will play. I think that's it. Tracy, good morning to you. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Toronto Road Cams likes the pop quiz concept. Oh, they don't know they're being followed so we pick a car and we rate their driving and just harass them. Well, not harass them, follow them and record them for a block and then give them a report card. Oh, I like where you're going. That may have to be a segment. Barb, you're a creative genius. I don't know if you knew that. Let's see here. The Real VR says Brampton, 400, Barrie, Mississauga, and Toronto would give you much footage. I agree. There's 100%. See, even KC says, Barb, great idea. I think maybe we just, and I actually have a former, we got Scott Marshall. He was the judge on Canada's Worst Driver. What a great concept. We just start there's car number one. We're going to evaluate how they turn, but you don't know what's going on in the car. It's the only flaw. If they get someone with a parabolic microphone and listening in, that might be wrong. But yeah, just watch them and critique them. I like where you're going with this. We're gonna have to give you like a producer credit if we make it. Okay. Love it. All right. Personal experience from Akela. Last night, no video. Maybe it's on dash cam if it didn't overwrite. What is the personal experience? Did I miss what the personal experience was? Manraj says, I did a police interview before coming to Canada in Punjab, India, but scope is very limited. That's why I dropped it. Interesting. Okay. Oh my, yes. When they do that, I laughed so hard. Sorry, Sean. Wait, I'm not understanding the context of your comment. I'm not picking up what you're putting down, but I'm glad that you laughed. Okay. Toronto Road Cams does that already. Follows people and critiques them. There is so much bad driving. It is hard. Like when people say there's no tickets to write, or oh, you must be trumping up baloney charges to get your quota. First of all, there's no quotas. Second of all, there is no shortage of horrible drivers. I could fill a ticket book in 10 minutes, like just walking out and standing on a street corner. This is not hard. Finding infractions isn't hard. They're everywhere. Just like City TV. Everywhere. All right, we got Tony, who says, educate the young. We're here to educate everybody. It's not just the young. Oddly enough, while young drivers are overrepresented in fatalities, young drivers get a bad rap. There's a lot of really good young drivers. I got to say that if you're a young driver, you may not be the problem. Older drivers tend to be really set in their ways and think that they're impervious to all, and that's a problem too. So educate everybody is my plan. But if you're talking about going into schools and doing it as a program, yeah, we're trying to get everybody, and the younger the better for teaching traffic safety. The man from photo, great username, by the way. Go to any signalized intersection and you'll see tons of cell phone users. Even when stopped, it's an offense. Well, it's an offense and it's offensive. I used to do that all the time. My partner and I in the motor squad would go anywhere, put the bikes around the corner, and just stand, and wearing a really bright yellow vest, and people would be on their phones. And oddly enough, distracted people are distracted, and they don't notice the police officer holding a ticket book waiting to write it for them. Although I do remember the stuff that came out a while back where coppers were going undercover as homeless folks or unhoused people at intersections begging, and they had posters saying, I'm not homeless, I'm a police officer, and you're about to get a ticket. I would have loved to do that. That to me would be the most fun. Oh, yeah, I'm like disappointed that I couldn't do that. What do we have here? Totally agree. Educating everyone. I was thinking of young will be a lifetime investment. 100%, Tony. I 100% agree with you. Boom, boom, boom. But I also wanted to give it was a good opportunity to talk about the fact that young drivers aren't always the problem, but educating everybody is the best. Okay. Oh. Okay. On a lighter note, what's your favorite English, Chinese, Thai, and Indian food? That is a difficult. I love all those. So English food, I don't know what you consider English. Like, are we talking about like fish and chips English, or are we talking about some steak? Like just American or barbecue? Like I don't have a specific one. I like them all. But oh yeah, I have to think on this. Indian food, I love a good roti, and although butter chicken is always easy, anything Indian food, anything super spicy, I have to usually ask the chef to make it hotter 5 or 6 times and remind them that I may look white, but I don't have white people taste buds. Even when I travel to the Middle East, I was like, so I go to a restaurant and I ask for hot, and they bring me stuff. I'm like, no, this is not hot. Very flavorful, very nice, but it's not spicy. And they came back and they had added Tabasco sauce to the spice collection they had on the plate. And I said, thank you. You just added Tabasco to it. And they turned to my friend who is from where I was and said, it's not natural. He's white. How does he take heat? Anyway, it's actually, I think, a misnomer. It is not correct to think that the Middle East eats a lot of spicy food. They may think they eat a lot of spicy food, but they don't. Okay. Skippy says, I think people over 80 should have to do a driving test, not just draw a clock and have an eye test. They do have a driving test at a certain point, But at 80 is when it starts to make sure cognitive decline isn't an issue, and then it becomes driving tests afterwards. But I think everyone should get a regular driving test. What makes anyone qualified to drive because they did a test when they were 16? I did a test when I was 16. I got my 365. It was a written test. It was like the same 20 questions. They may have asked the same question 3 times. I don't remember. And then I went 30 days later and had my G class, and I've had it ever since. I've been driving for a long time. Now, I've taken professional driving courses, but what makes the average person who does main B, a professional driving course, like, or a young driver's course, and then never does anything properly again, and is taught essentially by someone with horrible driving habits, their parents. I think regular driving tests could be really good. What's worse, DUI or distracted driving? Ethan, great question. No ignorance there. They're legitimately both a huge problem. However, I would say the more widespread, the bigger problem right now by numbers is distracted driving. There are more people driving distracted than there are people driving impaired. Now, it's not a competition. I don't want anyone to try and raise the numbers to represent their group. But alcohol tends to be specific to, although I've arrested people at all hours of the day, it's very small pockets of people who are abusing alcohol or drugs and getting behind the wheel. It's still too many, but it's small in comparison to 5 out of 10 cars on their phone. So when half of the road users are distracted compared to a much lower percentage that are impaired by drugs or alcohol, the bigger problem is distracted. They're both problems. Both are, one is criminal, one is not, but maybe both should be. Interesting. I definitely think we need to up the ante and have harsher penalties for distracted driving. This person says, I speed all the time. It makes me feel alive. Go do it on a track. Because one day your speeding is going to catch up to you and you're going to get seriously hurt or hurt somebody else. And I can tell you from having spoken to many people who have hurt and or killed people as a result of their driving, it's not a laughing thing. It's not a joke. I mean, you meant it as funny, I assume, but it's not. It's real life. And people who put others at risk tend to change people's lives. And if you haven't, it's just a matter of time. You're lucky or you're due. Okay. Or both. Let's see here. I really want to come back to the Thai and Indian food. Are we talking dishes or we're talking restaurants? Okay. Ethan says, ride a bicycle for the sake of the human race. I totally support that. That particular user should invest in a bicycle. Yeah. All right. Time is up, but I want to just scroll through and see what we're doing for other riders and drivers and talking questions. What do we got here? Yes, riding the bus and looking at the cars from the bus. So the Toronto Police actually did that for enforcement. But I could certainly talk to the TTC and see if I could organize something for educational purposes. Ray Edie says, I'm an insurance broker. I want to thank you for trying to educate everyone. Ray, much appreciated. We should talk. Maybe you want to come and talk about insurance and not as a sales thing, but as an education thing. Might end up being a sales thing for you. But yeah, reach out to me. You've got to get me by trafficcop.ca. I've got links to reach out. I'm always interested to understand the industry more and how, because there's so many people who they're just upset that the insurance is expensive, but don't understand why it's expensive or why things have been changing. I think you could add some interesting insight. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Yorkshire pudding. That's the real VR's favorite, I guess. Oh, Ethan has the real question. And he agrees that everyone should retest. Oh, here's the real questions. Okay. We're getting into the heavy stuff as we wind down. Okay. Scrolling down. Oh, Mirage says I should join him in Malton and we can try a unique Punjabi dish. Oh, I'm down. Yeah. I love Indian food. So yeah. We could make that. This could be a new channel. Shap goes to lunch. What is this? Can anything be done for aggressive drivers I have caught on dash cam? You can make reports, depending on where the location is, depends where you report it. But yeah, you can make reports. And those don't necessarily result in charges, but they certainly do create files and tags for when people are pulled over. It's, we've had 27 reports from the website for someone doing exactly this. I guess we're not giving this guy a break. So we're going to hold them accountable for their actions. I think that definitely I would put it to use. At very least, if you have good stuff that's not going anywhere else, you should send it to me so I can put it on the internet. Okay. The Real VR says, I race at the tracks to get high-speed thrills in. It's the way to do it. As my buddy of mine owns a race team. He goes fast. He goes fast safely with training, with the appropriate equipment. Racing on the track, that's what tracks are for. Racing on the roads, no thank you. Jazz says, I went to the nearest police station with the video and they were not interested. What do they do? I don't know. I don't know where you went. I don't know who you were speaking to. Generally, the average police officer is not a traffic-minded person. They are police officers waiting to go to 911 calls to arrest someone for something that is in the focus of what they do. But when they get into traffic, they go, oh, what's traffic? They don't get it. This is where I love to play, is in the traffic realm. Everyone should have driving tests regularly, in my opinion, and there shouldn't be exceptions for drivers from countries. I agree. Everyone should have to test. Avandro says, good morning, you're a Brazilian fan watching again. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Avandro has a channel. If you're interested in content similar to mine, but in Spanish or Portuguese, then he is the guy to visit because his content is great and it's in a language that might be more your liking. What is this? I collect 20 cans a month on my 122 meters of road frontage of my property, the road out of my town. Really? Did I miss the context? Where did this come from? This is you just doing stuff, just cleaning up the road. I mean, could you make anything with those cans? You're just recycling them? What are you doing? Necklaces? I don't know. Have a safe day, Sean. Thank you, Carl. You too. Thanks for being here, Sean. I feel more comfortable with driving. Ethan, my pleasure. That's what we're here for, is to make life better. Thanks, Sean. Great show. We'll contact you soon to discuss sponsorships. Oh, Casey, thank you so much. Look forward to speaking with you. Ray says, I'd love to talk to you regarding insurance. That sounds like a good plan. Let's do that. And don't forget dad jokes. Thank you for the reminder. It's been a while, Akela. Okay, we're going to do dad jokes in just 1 second. Real VR says, Dal Roti Indian cuisine in Collingwood, Ontario is a great place for Punjab and Indian dishes, my friends. Okay, I've never been there, but I don't get out to Collingwood often. There's a couple places in Toronto that I would frequent and take back to the station because the one was across the street from the station. I got lazy and that was the closest one, but there's one a little farther. Unfortunately, it would burn my lunch just getting there and back, but the food was phenomenal. Mimi says, thank you very much for being here, Sean. Kudos. Thank you so much, Mimi. I'm glad that you got some questions in. This was a nice, chill episode. It was easy to get through. Sometimes it gets real busy. The days when we had 14,000, 16,000, 20,000, and up to 40,000, those were hard to maintain. This is a nice, chill speed. Okay. Ethan's getting hungry watching, discussing these. Kayla says, stay safe. And remember, don't have a good day. Have a great day. This is good advice. What's your opinion on flip-flop drivers? You mean people wearing flip-flops while driving? Is that what we're talking about? It's not illegal. I think it's stupid, but it's not illegal. Anything like it's like what was it? What is the character? Can't remember the character. Anyway, never wear anything you can't run in. It's a movie character, and who is it? Does anybody know? If you know, put it in the comments. But yeah, flip-flops, they can they can slide off, they can get stuck in things. It's bad. It's not good at all. Okay. What's worse, flip-flop or barefoot? I think flip-flop could become a bigger issue. But depends on what you mean by flip-flop. Is it actually a tong, like a beach flip-flop, or a slip-on shoe or sandal? Because that's not a flip-flop to me. Barefoot is a problem because when you smash the brake pedal in an emergency, you might change your mind as your toes hurt because you can aim in the wrong way. Having that hard sole on your shoe is really the way to go. Real VR says goodbye. And what's a traffic officer's favorite dessert? Traffic jam on toast. Okay, we're starting you off as the first. and Jason Bourne, thank you. That is who I was thinking of. You're the best, Akela. Of course, I knew I could rely on you. First dad joke. Do I have the right? Testing my sound effects. Crickets. Okay. You should never invite John Milton to game nights because every time he comes, it's another pair of dice lost. Paradise lost. It's not making the ha-has. Okay. Okay. What do we got here? Why do dogs float? Because they're good boys. It's actually pretty good. Boys, good boys. Okay. What do we got here? That's good. I needed that. Dad joke. What rock group is made up of 4 famous men, none of whom can sing? Mount Rushmore. Is that a dad joke or a riddle? I like it, but I don't know if it's a dad joke. I think it was the dad joke calendar. I think it should be dad riddle calendar. It's not bad. Star Wars dad joke. Why did Princess Leia fall for a scoundrel? He was just so handsome. Han Solo? Okay. What do we got here? Quote, perhaps there is a realm of wisdom from which the logician is excited. Nietzsche. And whoever thought that Nietzsche spelled it like that? Like, I know it's Nietzsche, but you look at that, like, it doesn't look like Nietzsche, but I know it's Nietzsche. Anyway, it is Nietzsche. Okay. We talked about this. We did the dessert. The dessert was a pretty good one. I like that. Okay. Anything else we got to talk about here? Paradise Lost. See, I got it. I got Paradise Lost. Okay. We got another one. Why don't traffic officers ever lose at hide and seek? Because good luck speeding past them unnoticed. I like it. I also like that sound. Just me. All right, listen, I got to go. It's been a slice. Drive safe, drive sober, park legally, and smile because it looks good on you. Dad jokes just help kick off the rest of the day. You know, a smile is what we need. Smiles can make the world a better place. So treat people nice, not like the super dick who was driving the minivan. Yeah, he's a super dick. Have a good day.